Om Swastiastu. Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope all of you are in excellent condition. My name is Luh Ari Artini, you can call me Ari. I'm from English Education Department in class 3A, and now I'm going to explain about the material entitled Educational Facilities and Infrastructures as well as Financial Management as an Educational Information System. In this material, I will explain about the definition, the purposes, the examples, and the differences between facilities and infrastructures, as well as the purposes of financial management. Well, so before we talk more about the educational facilities and infrastructures, we should know the definition about the facilities and infrastructures in the general. Well, facilities are everything that used as a tool to gain a purposes of something, while infrastructure is a main support for all the implementation process such as the development, the business, and the project. Well, the next material is about the purposes of the facilities and infrastructure. There are four purposes of the facilities and infrastructure. First is to maximize the learning process so it can run well. The second purpose is to repair the broken things in the learning process. The third is to keep everything safe when we need it. And the last purpose is to have the budget planning for the next period of time. Well, so the examples of the facilities and infrastructure such as book, pen, paper, computer, chair, table, whiteboard, or even the classroom and buildings, and the extra support like the financial assistance from the government. Well, so that's all about the definition and the purpose and the examples of facilities and infrastructures. But do you know what's the differences between facilities and infrastructures? So the very main differences between facilities and infrastructures is facilities is the direct object and the infrastructures is the indirect object. So that means facilities that the direct object that can directly be used in the education, and the infrastructure is the opposite, like the indirect object that cannot be used directly in the education. And also the facilities is the tools and equipments that used directly in the teaching and learning process, but the infrastructures is everything, tools and equipment that used to support the teaching and learning process. Well, so that's all about the facilities and infrastructures in education. Well, so we move to the next material about financial management. So, do you know what is the financial management meanings? Well, so the financial management is an activity that used to determine the course of the educational process. There are two parts of the financial management in education. The first part is planning, organizing, briefing, coordinating, supervising, and controlling. While the second part is funding, utilizing, reporting, checking, and responsibility. Well, the next material is about the purposes of the implementing of financial management in education and its source. Well, the purposes are first to increase the effectivity and efficiency of the usage of educational fund. The second is to increase the accountability and transparency in the educational financial. And the last is to minimize the budget abuse for the unnecessary things. Well, and for the source of educational financial mostly comes from parents' help, from the government helps, and from the donation, and also from the business unit. Well, so the next material is about the principle of applying educational financial management. Well, the first is transparency. Transparency means that everything about the financial in education should be transparent, and every members of the education in an education should know about the financial management. So they should know what the journey of the money, so everyone can know the financial management, like the money they use for what and for what for. And the next is accountability. Accountability means that every someone have a responsibility to not use the money or the financial for the unnecessary things. It can seem like we can't do the budget abuse in the accountability. The next is effectivity. Effectivity is like you are have a responsible to use all the financial to manage the financial be with an effective way, so the financial is will be not waste. And the last is efficiency. Efficiency is kind of same like the effectivity, so we should use the financial, so manage the financial to not buy the unnecessary things. Well, so that's all about the principle of the applying educational financial management. Well, so the next material is about education finance management. Finance is an education interval system capability to manage funds of education efficiently. Education finance as the rupiah value for all inputs for an educational activity. So in short, this means like the education finance is for the educational activity. Well, so the next material is about basic concept of the education financing. The first is the budgeting concept. Budgeting concepts is divided into three parts. The first is budgeting, second is accounting, and the last is auditing. Well, the next concept is principles in budget. This concept is also divided into three parts. The first is plafond, the second is the principle of expenditure of the budget items, and the last is indirectly principle. Well, so the next material is about the goals and benefits of the education financing. Well, so the goals are first, the implementation of management function. The second is the implementation of the improving the quality of students' learning process and outcomes. And the last is the smooth implementation of education. While for the benefit of the education financing are first, it can meet school needs. Second is the improvement of the quality of students' learning process and outcomes. And the last one is it can meet the educational standards. Well, so that's all the material about the financial management in education, and also that's my last material. And thank you so much for your all kind attention. I'm really sorry if there's any mistakes from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will close this video with Paramasanti. Om Santi 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 Om.